You've already met the cozy side of fall. Now it's time for something a little bit more haunting, because when the sun goes down, autumn tells a slightly different story. Today, I'm going to introduce you our newest collection, Fall After Dark, and tell you the story of those 6 scents. As I said, our last collection, Fall Hard, was about those cozy mornings, apple orchards, harvest season, just like we did last year with our fall standard. But after we finished it, it got me thinking, just like I did last year, what about the other side of fall? Last year we had the Freaky Fall collection. This year we have Fall After Dark. Bonfires after everyone goes home, abandoned places, cool October nights, haunted traditions, and Halloween nostalgia. That's what we were going for. So pull up your chair a little closer, because the story of these new fragrance oils begins now. Chapter 1, Cinnamon Cider. Everyone's used to a typical fall cider. This isn't that cider. This is the one you will drink when everyone's sitting around a campfire telling ghost stories. This one is a little bit more edgy, a little bit more sinister. Why, you might ask? Well, this one isn't your just typical generic apple cider. The blood orange changes everything. Blood orange zest, crushed allspice and ginger. That adds that extra heat that I'm talking about with cinnamon cider. It does have some of those orchard cider notes, of course, with some smoked cinnamon bark and bourbon vanilla. We have a couple fantastic cider fragrances, including our black cider that was part of our Freaky Fall collection last year. But if you're looking for something a little hotter, a little bit more sinister, you've got to check this one out. It's one of my favorites of the collection, but stay tuned. We'll talk about my favorites at the very end. But while the fires are burning and stories have started, somewhere down the road is an old house. Chapter 2, The Forgotten Room. Every old house has one, a room that no one opens anymore, filled with dust and memories. And that's exactly where the idea for this fragrance came from. It's mysterious, not scary. It's a feeling that we're trying to capture with this one, and once you open this bottle and give this one a smell, I think you're just gonna love it. In fact, I've got them behind me. The Forgotten Room very much smells almost like a kind of an old dusty library type fragrance, but something more interesting. It's a little bit more, definitely more interesting, unique, and I think more pleasant than your traditional library type fragrance. This one's got more depth. This one has more intrigue, uniqueness. It's very, very good. It's actually, again, one of my personal favorites. I think this is one that is going to draw a lot of attention just because it's an unusual name, but a lot of people are going to look at it really not knowing what to expect. But I think when you smell this one, it's going to quickly become one of your favorites. But we'll come back to each one of these at the end, and I'll kind of give you my recap on where I would rank each one, if it was me. So if you're curious, Forgotten Room includes a black currant and mothwing, a cold linen, lavender, antique wood type fragrance. It's got a little bit of a settled dust type note to it, and then some mineral musk. Now all of these are going to create that atmospheric sort of feeling that I was describing, but it's so pleasant all put together. Again, you're going to absolutely love that one. But once you close that door behind the Forgotten Room, the night's just getting started, because now it's time to head to the carnival. But this isn't your average carnival. This is your Halloween carnival. A little interesting, a little scary, a little spooky, a little sweet, very sweet actually, but definitely mysterious. Regardless, Halloween is partially scary, but also partially fun. And that is where the fragrance Trickery came from. Now, why the name Trickery? Well, this was a fragrance that's got some strange combination of fragrance notes that I think you will see in the profile or in the description on the website. Burnt sugar, green apple, vanilla taffy, popcorn, leather, caramel smoke, and a licorice root. That is a strange combination of fragrances. And when you smell it, you don't actually know what you're smelling. Every time I've gone back to this fragrance, not just me, you smell something different. And if there's not been a single person I've asked them, what does it smell like, they could tell me. And at first, I didn't actually particularly like this fragrance much. It fit what I was going for, but it's not a personal favorite of mine, and it's very sweet. But the more I smelled it, the more I appreciate it, and it fits the vibe very much that we're going for, but it's actually just growing on me. A lot of these individual notes I really, really like. Just mixing them all together was very strange, hence the name Trickery, but it does feel like you're at a Halloween carnival, and you don't know what to expect. This one, by the way, has generated the most buzz, and actually most samples have gone out for this one because of the name, because of the imagery, because of the notes are so unusual. I don't know how it's going to perform after that. It may not be the favorite. In fact, from people that have sampled all the fragrances, I can tell you there's like 2 or 3 that so far are kind of leading the pack, but this is one that you just got to try and just have some fun with it. But eventually the lights of the carnival go out, which is where we turn to chapter 4, the CRYPT. Now the CRYPT is a much more slower pace. It's not necessarily a horror, but it's a little spooky. It's a little mysterious. It is atmospheric. It's got that cold stone, ancient wood, candlelight type feeling. And it's almost the smell of silence in a church. It's elegant yet kind of dark at the same time. Now this one has a very unusual scent profile as well. Amani frankincense and crushed clove embers. The middle notes are a cathedral incense, a labdanum resin, and black rose. The base notes are aged myrrh and weathered oak. I think you can tell just from those fragrance notes alone what this might smell like. But it's very interesting. It's very just cryptic. I mean, hence the name. And you know, on the surface, this one and Forgotten Room almost seem like kind of in the same ballpark, and I guess you could argue that they are, but the CRYPTs have much more of this kind of haunted church-like incense type smell, and the Forgotten Room is more like just kind of peace and quiet, library, old dusty room. They're both so good, but in very different ways. But you leave the CRYPTs and you decide to take the shortcut back home, and that is where we get to chapter 5, Blackthorn. Now Blackthorn is all about that moonlight, dark blackberries, and thorn-covered branches. Now, if you're familiar with a fragrance called Midnight Blackberry that was actually recently discontinued from another supplier, this was a popular request and people were begging me to come out with our version of it. So we did. And both are very good. The previous one was very good as well. And this is very, very close, but you know, we made it ourselves. We made it slightly our own. And I feel like this one is a little edgier and kind of grabs you a little harder. And this is, again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but this one is going to be a long time, year-round seller. It is extremely good. If you like something a little sweet, but a little spicy and a little woodsy and a little earthy, that has all of it. Obviously, the top notes are going to include some blackberry. Also has blood orange peel and crushed lime. The middle notes are going to be berries and a spice mix. The base notes have a spun black sugar, frozen pine needles, and a light charred oak. And that is where you're getting that combination and that balance of all those different note profiles all coming together and makes it so interesting, but also what makes it a year-round fragrance. If you were looking for a replacement for that Midnight Blackberry fragrance, check it out. But even if you weren't or never even heard of it, you've got to try this one. And by the way, before I forget to mention it, as with all of our new themed releases, you can purchase these individually if you want, or you can buy the sample discovery set, and it saves around 15% if you do that. That way you get to sample each one, figure out which ones you like, and then you can go back for more on the ones that you prefer. So the Blackthorn path finally leads you back through the dark, and the fire begins to fade. It's the end of the night. That is when we introduce you to the final chapter of Fall After Dark, Pumpkin Ash. Halloween is over. The porch is finally quiet. Jack-o'-lantern has burned out. This is not another pumpkin spice fragrance. This definitely has a pumpkin base, but it's mixed with smoked embers and that kind of bonfire feel. So combine your pumpkin and your bonfire and you get pumpkin ash. And I gotta tell you, this one so far, I've heard the most people say is their favorite because they didn't know what to expect. And everyone's looking for a good fall fragrance that includes some smokiness, but also a little bit of gourmand or pumpkin, but they have a hard time getting something that feels unique because a lot of bonfire and smoke fragrances smell the same. A lot of pumpkin fragrances smell the same. This one is unique. It brings both together and harmonizes perfectly. Definitely got to check this one out. It is a fantastic fragrance. So what makes up this fragrance profile? Well, the top notes are fresh spices, nutmeg, and whipped honey. The middle notes are cassia bark, roasted pumpkin, and clove bud. Forgive me, I'm trying to remember all of these. And the base notes have a smoked amber, a macadamian milk, and a burnt sugar. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for a unique, good, warm gourmand mixed with a upscale smoke and embers fragrance, kind of create that fall pumpkin bonfire, you're gonna absolutely love this one. So you gotta check it out. So behind me, you've got all 6 fragrance oils as part of the Fall After Dark collection. Now this collection was different. It is different and it's meant to be that way. What makes this fragrance collection different for us as well, as far as putting it together, is it didn't start with the fragrance notes. These ones started with a story, what we were trying to get to, what we were trying to feel. We knew we wanted a different approach, kind of like we did last year with Freaky Fall. So we started with what we were hoping to kind of put together as far as a feeling for Halloween. And not just Halloween, but sort of that kind of, well, fall after dark. But we also wanted fragrances that we knew would do well year round. And so every fragrance had to feel like us, that it's something we knew that it had accomplished our goal, and we knew that it would create intrigue, and that it could fit different kinds of collections, whether it's fall, dark, mysterious collections, or year-round fragrances. So I hope you guys like these as much as I like putting them together. Really had a fun with this one, but I really do feel like this family is very cohesive, and it's a great addition to our fall hard collection, which is more of your traditional ones. You've got to check out both if you haven't already. But I told you I would talk about at the very end which of these might be my personal favorites, and maybe even biggest surprises. But let's start with my favorites. And honestly, I don't know why I asked myself that question, because I knew damn well I wasn't going to be able to tell you. You know what? Let me just get them down here, because I am not sure. All right, so Blackthorn. I mean, I know that one. It's just very, very good. Now, because this is where it gets tricky to tell you my favorites, because sometimes it's just a matter of like, which one do I just enjoy the most? Other times it's, well, that's different. That's unique. I've never smelled that before. So that ends up being my favorite. And that's why it's kind of hard to answer these. But if I go kind of like comparing, so like CRYPT versus Blackthorn, but they're very different. I'm going to go with Blackthorn on that one. I just really love that combination of the berry and the wood and the spice and the earthiness to it. It's just such a great fragrance. Let's go to Trickery. Now, see this one. This one, what I mostly pick up first is a combination of the sugar, taffy, and green apple. That's what I get instantly. And then you get this like kick of something else, and it's like, what is that? It's very interesting. You know, if I had to go for uniqueness and like had to go for like a Halloween vibe, I would definitely go with Trickery, but I'll still lean towards Blackthorn as a personal favorite so far. All right, let's go to Pumpkin Ash. Okay. If I was going to go year round, I would definitely go Blackthorn. If we're talking about out of this collection for this particular time of year, I have to go with Pumpkin Ash, because that combination of the pumpkin and the smoke goes so perfectly well together. It's one of the best fall bonfire fragrances I've ever smelled. So for that, I have to give that one the nod. So far, Pumpkin Ash. Now let's go with Cinnamon Cider. Cinnamon Cider. Very, very spicy, very red hot cider. Man. All right. Personally speaking, all year, it would be between this and Blackthorn. I love cider anyways, but I really like that hot cinnamon. And this is a little bit different than our black cider. It's very, very, very good. But because cider isn't as unique, I feel like, as this one, I'm going to stick with Pumpkin Ash, which leaves the Forgotten Room. Man. All right, I think I'm going to surprise some people here, but I'm going with Forgotten Room as my personal favorite. It is so pleasant, yet haunting and mysterious, a little masculine. Man, I don't know how to describe it, but if I smelled this one burning all the time in the house, it would be the one I would lean towards out of the rest of these. And what a great year-round fragrance too, even. So yeah, I guess I'm terrible at picking favorites. Absolutely terrible. If you would have asked me for top 3 or 4, it would have been a little easier. I'd probably go with Forgotten Room, Pumpkin Ash, Cinnamon Cider, and Blackthorn would be the top 4, but geez, I'll probably change my mind tomorrow on that one. All right, guys, so those are the 6 new stories, 6 new scents of the Fall After Dark collection. Now I'd love to know which one intrigues you the most. If you haven't tried them yet, let me know which one's the most interesting. If you have, let me know your favorite. I love seeing your guys' thoughts and feedback in the comments. But with that being said, I appreciate all of you guys for being here as usual. Let me know what you think about the collection as a whole, and I appreciate you as always. Thanks.